welcome to my channel. I want you to know I did that just for you, D-Man. Just for you. Well, it's Monday morning. It's the 16th of March. And today is the first day they basically have killed off working from the office. But I have to go in anyways. How you doing? I got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome to Charlotte. Nice little 360 video of me going into work. So since I made my last video, they basically told us that we're not allowed to come into the office anymore. At least for the next foreseeable future, like the next 2.5 weeks or so. So between text messages, emails from executive vice presidents, they don't want us coming in anymore for fear of spreading the disease. Interesting thing about that is, to me it's kind of a little bit of overkill. I don't know if it is for you as well, the whole COVID-19 thing. But it's definitely very cloudy today. Take a look out in front of me. You're looking at the Levine Center. On the left is the night theater. So an interesting statistic is that, did you know that the United States only had 1,000 critical emergency beds in hospitals? I didn't know that. So we know at this video, or at the time of this video, that mostly it's elderly that are succumbing to getting sick and dying. The United States doesn't have a whole lot of older population, not like Italy. But the fear is that we're going to be spreading the disease to elderly people and basically filling up all the hospitals. So it's not really a matter of whether or not we're going to have people getting sick. It's just a matter of that we don't necessarily think that all the hospitals in the United States can cover that amount of people. Woo. Took some allergy meds this morning and God, everything is draining. So if it looks like I'm out of breath, it's because of that. You remember the famous disco chicken? So now, Ryan, for you, now you really get a full 360 video. On my right is the church. It's a Catholic church. Just to the right of that, they're doing a new building. That's where Duke Energy is moving the great majority of its staff. So in between the church and the next building over, which is the Harvey Gantt Museum for African American History. That's where they're going to put in our new tower. So within the next 4 or 5 years or so, you'll see that. Way off in the distance, you can see the NASCAR Hall of Fame if you're into cars and whatnot, like race cars. Continuing on, you can kind of see the night theater now. It's all lit up. And I'm kind of circling around the disco chicken. So if you look straight up, you'll see the Duke Energy Center. on my left. So going that way. That's where Buenos Dias Vlogs and me met up and took him to the top of that building. Across the street is what's called the Green, so I'm now continuing on to head on to work. On my right, you'll see a neon sign that says Ratcliffe Flowers. That used to belong to the building. As I progress here, that's a Bernadine's restaurant. That used to be a flower stand at one point back in the day. It's nice. It's a cool park to go and sit and eat your lunch, or if you can find a spot. It gets usually filled up pretty quickly. Continuing on, I'm on the south side of Uptown right now. That's where our office buildings are at. Just kind of cool, that way I don't have to fight through the traffic. But what is interesting is just how dead it is. And I think that's because most buildings and most offices are telling their employees to work from home. I'm kind of nervous about that because most people use Citrix clients. And I'm not entirely sure that between the company's networks and Citrix receivers and all that infrastructure, if it's enough to handle this amount of people all in one town trying to log on and do what they need to do just to get to work. So, some interesting news. If you look off to my left, you'll see my building. We're on a street called South Tryon. When you go down about 3 or 4 traffic lights straight in front of me, turns into North Tryon. Wow. Right at Trade Street. It's interesting. So we're going to be out, like I said, for about 2.5 weeks. And by the time I come back, guess what? One of the big changes and updates that I get to tell you is that I actually have been asked to manage my entire area. So starting April 1st, kind of makes me feel a little weird. For April Fool's Day, I am kind of graduating and going to be taking over everything. I've kind of already been doing this. And that's what's so weird about this whole thing. For the last 2 years, I've already been sort of kind of managing the area, and